Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming along here. We're going to go for a little ride here. I headed up to a different part of my work, and so I put the Avoid Highways feature on here. And so we're kind of driving up one of it's kind of a main drag here in Colorado Springs. It's called Academy Boulevard. Stoplights, all the whole way, and it used to be the big road in the city, so I haven't driven up this road in a long time. So we're gonna start at this starting point here. I'm gonna take you along for the ride in my own little robotaxi here. I don't have to touch the wheel. I'm gonna start here with Start FSD Supervised, press and hold, and we're gonna head up to my school district's office here. Like I said, through the kind of the middle of the city. So let's go ahead and get started. Especially, and we're gonna start here a little complicated because I took us right here at this intersection off of the road. So a bunch of cars that are coming up on the left here. High speed of traffic. You got a turn lane that's right here too. So I mean, literally the stoplight is right there. And I think we're probably going to do the dart right here. As more cars are coming, but there's a little bit of a break. So here we go. And through this intersection. So kind of a little bit more complicated drive than normal. Usually I take this route up the interstate. Today I decided to come up this road. I haven't been up this road in a long time. So like I said, from that starting point here, we got about 7.5 miles, 17-minute drive to get where we're headed to. And like I said, this is, a lot of stoplights and whatnot, and probably a lot of traffic as well going up this way. So right now we're probably at the back end of a lot of traffic. But with Tesla about to release their, they've launched or started to launch the robotaxi out in Texas, in Austin specifically. Um, people who have Teslas at this point and run full self-driving have their own personal robotaxis. So giving you a kind of a vantage point of what that looks like for most people who are out driving. So this car, like, I was actually driving without FSD before I started this. And you get used to the idea that the car drives itself. And so when you're actually driving, it's probably been a while. Not that it ever takes getting used to, but kind of. And that truck just cut us off because you got a bus up here. The bus is stopping. But way back in the day, used to come up this way a lot of times. Went back when I was in college, make this drive. But I was talking to my wife on the phone, and I said, "Man, I haven't come up. Like I said, the street's called Academy. I haven't come up Academy in a long time. I'm going to go ahead and take myself all the way up here." So I actually put on the Avoid Highways feature, and I can show you that under navigation, Avoid Highways. So I put that feature on in order to make this drive because it was going to try to get me onto the interstate and go up. And it's funny, this was only like a minute longer to come this way, but more city driving than normal in terms of inside the city itself. So this, like I said, this used to be a huge one of the big main thoroughfares in Colorado Springs. And as the city has grown, you go out east, which is Powers Boulevard. That's become the more popular route um, within the city itself. But like I said, this is still busy. So it looks like we got a little bit of road construction up here with the left lane closed. So that's what we're seeing here on our map as well. Hopefully the car sees that. And it literally closes right up there. And it's trying to get over. I don't think that lane's closed, but everybody else is getting over. So everybody else is getting over, as you can see that in front of me. So it looks like this car here is trying to get over as well, but if it takes it down to one lane, but it didn't seem like it did. But the FSD is getting us over, so it saw that ahead of us. I'm disappointed. It looks like it is following the tune of everybody else, which could be good, and that's pretty smart, actually, if it can able to see that up ahead. Even though to me it doesn't look like the lane we were just in is closed, but I'm gonna trust it a little bit. We'll see what happens here. That's probably what making this drive a little bit longer than compared, but I'm sure there was a lot of traffic on the interstate too, in terms of why this was just like a minute longer. And a lot more stop and go on this road than an interstate. But it's getting me where I need to go. It's driving me to work. Yeah, I guess it is closed. Good to know. I mean, so yeah, that was a good point. The car saw all the cars in this lane that were trying to get over. Went ahead and tried to get over. We got this truck that's probably going to cut somebody off. Ooh, ooh. And there's a almost an accident right there because he wanted to be a dick. Like, what the fuck? That guy. Good job. I almost cut that car off or pushed that car out of the road a little bit. What we consider to be almost impatient. Like it's going to help you at the end of the day. Here's my philosophy, right? Because now you've done that, and now you're still stuck with all this. So what did it get you at the end of the day? Whatever. And he's probably still got his blinker on because he didn't even realize. Driving his Ford F-150 with a flex fuel. I didn't know the F-150s had flex fuel. No Lightning though. The Lightnings are fun to drive though. I've driven a Ford Lightning. Get that nice truck feel, and then you get that EV feel with it as well. It's a fun experience. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of construction here. Looks like this is probably be out of it after this stoplight, honestly. Or at least the traffic gets better according to the map after the stoplight. Yeah, the guy's still driving with his blinker on. Open it back up a little bit here. So we're in the 2-lane section here. These guys are over on our side of the road, so the southbound lanes. And it's funny, got over. I'm driving really close to the cones. So FSD is doing a pretty good job handling that, and then now we should be out of all that. And then next to the next stoplight. But hopefully we're getting close to the idea of robotaxi in a lot more places as well. And it was funny yesterday. I was trying to check for an update, and my car wasn't like checking for an update. It kept saying going back to like June 14th, and today's June 17th. So yesterday was June 16th. And when it like checked to see, it kept saying cars up to date June 14th at whatever time. But we are still running. Show you here. Software version 20.3, full self-driving 13.2.9. So like I said, I checked it this morning. Nothing that's popped in yet, but so that's the software we're kind of running on in terms of the car itself and full self-driving as well. Whoa. So I haven't seen any new updates. I mean, we gotten the 20.3 update that came through, but as we know, when we were on FSD 13.2.8, was on that for like 3 months. No update came in. We finally get the .9 update, so a point 0.1 type of deal. So we've been running. Everybody's been running on that for a while. So the hope is that we're getting close to the point where if Tesla's slowing down these updates, that the next big thing that's coming is it unsupervised full self driving? With robotaxi starting to launch, because at this point, it's always been doing a great job. Like I said, here we are. We've been driving for about 10 minutes or so. I haven't had to touch the wheel at all. Car's driving itself. You can deal with cars in front of us that are cutting each other off. I think the next biggest thing, and I think that has to happen, and I've made videos recently about driving through weather. Weather is going to be the biggest kicker, right? If it's raining heavy and those types of things, what's gonna give more so potholes, those types of things, road conditions. To me, would be the biggest hangup, and especially in a city, in a state like this, like they're calling for big thunderstorms this afternoon. So if you're driving through that, and I'm not trying to drive through that because they're calling for big hail, so I'm going to get the hell out of there quick, get this car in the garage, and should be in good shape. So semi truck pulling out here, oop, slamming on the brakes because they slammed on the brakes. So there was a quick reaction for FSD, probably because that truck pulled out. This car's getting in front of us now. So FSD has good reactions at this point. Saw those cars braking because this semi pulled out and took up the 2 lanes that it needed to pull out of that parking lot or that intersection. Kind of a blind turn right here to this intersection. A lot of these intersections here have it said photo enforced there, so red light traffic cameras to get people running reds. Ooh, heck, man, some cars, I tell you, some people. So seen some different driving on this road than I usually do on the interstate. So that's the positive of this drive and showcasing it to you all. People are honking everywhere. I think this guy's honking at this car. He's going crazy. Freaking tailgating him. Jeez. Poor guy gets over. Oh, and then gets flipped off. Wow. Jeez. For no real reason. Well, there you go. So I've seen some it's good road rage on this route, and nobody's happy with each other. And here you go. Here's my biggest beef. Right, he does that, flips that person off, gets all the way up here. Almost, it was a red light at one point. So it's like, what did you get out of it, dude? Like, just calm down, enjoy the ride. See, but he doesn't have a car that drives itself. So here, I'm sitting back, enjoying the ride because I don't have to worry about it. Right, my car's getting over when it needs to get over. It's getting me where I need to be on time. He just needs a full self driving type of car. Right, ease, relax a little bit. But they're like, "Rah," doing his thing. getting off here. I think we'll be turning here as well, next to the dying mall. No, maybe it's the next one. I lied. But hey, at least we got to see some interesting things on this drive today. Just more so from crazy people versus anything else. You know, not because of the car or anything like that. So there you go. It's a long little light though. There we go. So kind of a sort of an unprotected turn here. That you can see that curve that goes around, but there's nobody coming. It looks like that could be a challenging spot, but has the potential to be. So I'm going to take us into the parking lot here. This is so I work for a school district, and this is the district office that we're meeting here today. Once we get up here, so I'm going to have it park itself as well. Kind of give you that idea. And that'll be the next step too when we look at the idea of whether, robotaxi or unsupervised FSD, is it's got to be able to do the end-to-end, which I've had to do it once in a while, but it does not do it at all consistently. It's going to pull into a place like this, let's say a parking lot like this, and be able to go find a parking spot. That's going to have to be the next big thing that happens, more so with this stuff. And like I said, I'll show you here because it'll probably take us into right up to the door or something like that is what it usually does. That's at, grocery stores, department stores, whatever, parking lots like that. It's like, go find the actual parking spot. There's parking spots everywhere. But in this type of circumstance, what it's going to do is take you, the dots right there. That's where it's going to want to take you, so. But I'm going to go park over to the left because that's where I park and go in a different way. But we're going to go ahead and find a parking space over there and let it do a little self parking. That's when I'm going to take over. So there you go, but again, in the end, to where I've come from, but that's eventually what we're going to need it to do, is go through a parking lot like this, right? Now we're going to see the parking space lines, or the available parking spaces on the screen here, but we're going to come over here. And we're going to have it park in one of these spots. We're actually going to park it right next to this car. Hit the start button. Hopefully you saw that. Let it do its job. Yeah. Sorry, there was a car there I had to take over. So I had to take that over just because there was a car sitting there waiting, and I want to be a jerk. And there we go. So there you go. My own little robo taxi got me where I needed to go. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.